It's kind of scary starting new series. Do I want to read this? I don't know. I'm very conflicted on this one. I think this is the first time I've been to the bookstore where I haven't needed a Brandon Sanderson book. I hear Dead Romantics is really good. Why do they look so innocent? Hi my loves, welcome back. Welcome to our channel. Welcome if you guys are new, and welcome back to Bookmas. I feel like a tried and true Bookmas video. I've only done Bookmas once, but every time other people do Bookmas, like the best video is always a book shopping video. My favorite video to film, my favorite video to watch. I'm so excited. So today that is exactly what we're doing. We're going to be going into the city today and treating ourselves to some books. I have a whole list that we can go through before we head in. I also have a voucher to use today, which is just adds to the excitement. I do plan on getting like 5 to 6 books today, so it's going to be a bit of a trip, but we do need to top up our TBR a little bit. We are kind of getting a little bit low, and there are so many series I would love to get like the next books in because I'm currently reading them. These are books on my wish list that I'm kind of on the lookout for today, but I do just want to book browse as well. Like I just want to see what calls to me. A lot of these are fantasy as per usual, but you know, we might find some contemporary fiction while we're there. I don't know. Okay, the first one is Jade City. This is the first in a trilogy, and I have heard so many incredible things about this series. Literally raving reviews. I don't think I've seen one person read it and not enjoy it, so that is very, very high up on my priority list. Red City, ironically, as well. The only person I've seen read this is Jamie, but she absolutely loved it recently, and I know that it only just came out, so if that happens to be around, it's sometimes a little bit different in like different countries, so I don't know if it's out in Australia yet, but I'll keep my eye out. Fourth Ember in the Ashes series. You guys know we're still on the hunt for this. It's kind of a weirdly hard book to find. They usually have the first few books in the Ember in the Ashes quartet. I can't find the 4th book for the life of me, so we're hopefully going to find that one today and add that to the collection, because then we can finally complete the series. Speaking of series we're in the middle of, Kiss of Deception, the Remnant Chronicles, book 2 and 3 maybe even. I'm up to book 2. I really want to continue that series, so I definitely could get that series. Like I really liked the first book, so that one's pretty high up on my priority as well. Other books that I'm kind of just on the lookout for are The Jazzed Crown. This is the second book in, I don't know what the series is actually called, but it's over there. The Jazzed Air is the first book, which I read ages ago, and The Jazzed Crown came out this year, so that's very exciting. And then A Fate Inked in Blood. I actually have the second book in this series because the publisher sent it to me, and it's like the fun, really pretty covers, so if I can find the original cover for that series, I'd love to get it. Done a reprint in Australia though, so it's the smaller version and it's a very different cover, and like that would really annoy me on my bookshelf. Like I may as well just read it on Kindle if I was going to get that cover. So yeah, if they have the original cover of that one, I would love it. I did have Vicious as well by V. Schwab. However, that is on Kindle Unlimited now, so I'm thinking I might just read that series on Kindle first, and if I absolutely like devour it, I can get a physical copy. Those are my kind of like immediate books I'm on the lookout for today, but as I said, I'm really hoping to just browse and see what we find, to be honest. I do think I want to put an emphasis on getting books in series that I'm currently reading so that I can actually be more motivated and like actually finish those series, because I'm trying to knock down my series number, guys. We've got way too many that I'm currently reading, so if we could kind of slowly tick those off, that would be really great. I'm excited to look at some new releases, everything like that. We are going to like the biggest bookstore in the city today in Melbourne, so that's really fun. It means there's a lot of variety. I don't think I have too much else to say, so I reckon without further ado, let's go book shopping. Kiss of Deception is up. No, they only have the first book in Kiss of Deception and the Remnant Chronicles. Okay, well that plan's gone quite quickly. I have yet to read this one. Oh, this is fun. Oh, it's a signed copy as well. Oh yeah, she came here to Melbourne recently. I've yet to read that. It's $55. I also need to finish the series, but I'm kind of scared to go on to them because look how big that second book is. Oh, the new Brimstone. Do I want to read this? I don't know. I'm very conflicted on this one. I also have heard so many different things about this series. I just feel like I have not been gravitating towards romances at all very much at the moment. Have you heard of this? Do you know what it is? Why do they look so innocent? There's Mate, except I have a different version. Special editions of these as well. They're cute. A lot of these I'm just kind of scared to pick up because I don't want to be traumatized again like I was in Haunting Adeline. Guys, we have success. We finally found it. This has been a search. It's been a search. Are we seeing this? We have Lynette Noni in number 2 and then in number 11 as well. Of course she's in the top 100 books. Of course all of her series are in the top 100 books. I think this is the first time I've been to the bookstore where I haven't needed a Brandon Sanderson book, because I have them, which is exciting. Also, we have The Martian by Andy Weir, which I am quite intrigued about. There are honestly a lot here that I am really intrigued about. It's kind of scary starting new series. Also, these editions of like Tolkien, I have no arms, but they're amazing. I am kind of tempted to go with Fragile Threads of Power. Maybe we should, because I've been meaning to read this for such a long time now. Okay, come with me down here. There's also Ashley Poston books, which if I did want to get a romance book, I could go with her, because I've read 7 Year Slip and I love that, but I haven't read anything else by her. I hear Dead Romantics is really good, but I have heard mixed things about it. I'm not sure. Okay, actually, I think this one, if I'm gonna go with a romance, I've heard really, really good things about this one. Like everyone I've seen read it has like rated it a really high rating. Maybe we get a romance as well. But it's inspired by Harry Met Sally. And I don't know, I've just heard a lot of good things. Also the cover is super, super cute. So we're back. We did some damage. No, we did some really fun, great shopping. And we're gonna chat about all the books I got. I also have a nice ginger tea here, and Maisie's here too. So with book shopping, I always try and be very, very mindful of what I buy. I don't want to be buying just random books. Like whilst I love book browsing, you know, I want to be buying books I can see myself reading within the next like few months. I don't want to be buying books just because like I like the cover or I just have heard someone talk about it. Like I want to be getting books that are on my shelf for a reason. I'm going to be reading soon. Like that for a few reasons, but number one, I just don't want to overconsume books that I'm not going to be reading, and number two, I have limited space, so you know, this is already completely overflowing. I don't know what we're gonna do. Maybe we should get a TBR cart. I don't know. But with that being said, let's start going through some of the books I bought. Okay, this first one I am really, really excited about. So if you guys watch our podcast, Once Upon a Time Zone with Jamie, it's like our little safe corner of the internet, by the way, if you love bookish things. We have so much fun over there. As like a little Halloween special, we did like our creating our own adventure, like creating our own fantasy story. And my fantasy story, my dream fantasy story, was about a protagonist called Evie. I don't know why, I just love the name Evie. Set in the 1920s, we kind of have hypnosis, a very kind of interesting, unique magic system that you haven't heard of before, and kind of like sense of betrayal, a very small line of romance, everything like that. It was a very specific kind of book. One of you commented and was like, Freya, there is literally a book called The Diviners with a protagonist named Evie, set in the 1920s, with a really unique kind of magic system. That was one of the books I picked up today because that sounds so much fun. The fact that the protagonist's name is Evie is absolutely crazy. I had actually seen this in the store once or twice, like just the cover. So I did kind of know what I was looking for. I love this cover personally, but I'm so excited about this one. It also sounds like there's a sense of mystery to it, which I love my mysteries and my fantasies. So we are following Evie, and she has been exiled from her boring old hometown and shipped off into the bustling streets of New York City. That's probably the only difference. Mine was set in Paris in the 20s and this is set in New York, but still amazing, like still roaring 20s vibes. New York is the city of speakeasies, shopping and movie palaces, and soon enough Evie is running with glamorous Ziegfeld girls and rankish pickpockets. The only catch is that Evie has to live with her uncle Will, curator of the Museum of American Folklore, Superstition and the Occult, also known as the Museum of Creepy Crawlies. When a rash of occult-based murders come to light, Evie and her uncle are right in the thick of it. Evie's new pals, all but swell kids, are drawn to the investigation, and through it all, Evie has a secret, a mysterious power that could help catch the killer if he doesn't find her first. I am really excited about this book because I have never heard anyone talk about it apart from that comment. Honestly, I'm all for like a different kind of fantasy book that I haven't heard about before. And yeah, I love reading books that are new to me, books that I haven't heard anyone talk about. So I think it'll be just a good time. I'm really excited about this one. So if you commented on the podcast and you happen to be watching this as well, you very much influenced me. Guys, I'm very excited about this one because we all know that I have been looking for the fourth book in the Ember and the Ashes quartet for a long time now. And today it took a bit, but we did find A Sky Beyond the Storm. I am so excited to finally finish the Ember quartet. I will definitely be trying to do this very, very soon. Honestly, I'm so excited to do my next TBR now, like my January TBR, because we've got so many good books to put on it. But yes, this is the fourth book in the Ember quartet. If you don't know what the Ember quartet is, we start with Ember in the Ashes. We are following Leia. She has pretty much lost all of her family apart from her brother, and he gets taken by the kind of monarchy, the kingdom in this world, because he's been caught aligning with the rebels. Of course, this is Leia's only family left, so she decides to go undercover into the castle to try and find and rescue her brother. We are also following two other perspectives from the soldiers in the academy as part of the monarch. So whilst we're following Leia going undercover, we are also watching trials and training for these like soldiers in this world. I am super excited to read the fourth book in this series. I have been sitting on the edge of my seat until I've read this one, and I was gonna just get it on Kindle and read it on Kindle, but I did really want to have like the completed copies on my shelf. There are 2 versions of this. I love both of the copies, honestly. I love the other ones because they have the like spine detailing, but I do love like the front of these. I think they're so cool. So I'm very excited to read this one. It took me a while to find it. The next book, I believe I showed you this one when we were there, is Fragile Threads of Power by V. Schwab. Now this has sprayed edges, which is so random because we don't usually get, well, we're starting to get more sprayed edges in Australia, but it wasn't really a thing until very recently. But Fragile Threads of Power by V. Schwab. If you're like, oh, that looks like Dark Shade of Magic, you wouldn't be wrong. I originally thought that the Fragile Threads of Power was just a continuation from the Dark Shade of Magic trilogy, as in just like a 1-book phenomenon kind of thing. Like it was just a kind of bonus material. This is actually going to be the start of a new trilogy, I believe, which is super exciting. So we're still set in the same world as the Darker Shade of Magic. We do have the same characters or overlapping characters, but it's a different story. So I am so excited to be back in this world. You guys know that the Dark Shade of Magic is like one of my favorite trilogies I have ever read. I also feel like I'm just working my way through V. Schwab's backlog now, because I read the Dark Shade of Magic, then I read Addie LaRue, and I was like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with her. So I need to read The Vicious Duology, which is on Kindle Unlimited, and then I also really need to read Fragile Threads of Power. This is probably on Kindle Unlimited as well, but I couldn't help myself and they didn't have Vicious, so we just went with this one. Also, just having physical books kind of makes me like more excited to read it. I don't really know too much about what this is about. Okay, so we are set 7 years after, I'm not gonna say what, we are set 7 years after the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. I actually am not gonna read the blurb of this. This is honestly quite a spoiler for the rest of the Dark Shade of Magic trilogy, but if you haven't picked the Dark Shade of Magic trilogy, tongue twisters up, please do. It's so good. See what I mean by like I'm trying to be mindful? I'm very much like getting books that I'm in the middle of, like series I'm in the middle of and I know I'm gonna read soon. This being like a little exception, but being very mindful. I did get 2 more books, and guys, I never do this. I never buy more than 1 book in a series when I haven't started the series yet, but I fear I'm gonna be obsessed with this, and I was like, you know what, let's just do it. And I also had a bit of my voucher to use, so I got the first 2 books in the Greenbone saga, I believe this is called. The first book is Jade City. This is by Fonda Lee. I haven't heard one bad review about this series. I've heard so many incredible raving reviews, so read it together. I know like kind of what it's about because Jamie's like been begging me to read this for a while, so this is for you, Jamie. But it says, Jade is the lifeblood of the city of Janloon, a stone that enhances a warrior's natural strength and speed. It is mined, traded, stolen, and killed for, all controlled by 2 families equal in their power and ruthlessness. When a modern drug emerges that allows anyone, even foreigners, to wield jade, simmering tension between the 2 clans erupts in open war. This just sounds like nothing I've read before, if I'm gonna be honest. I have never read a book like this. Love the covers, absolutely obsessed with the covers. Like everyone who's recommended this to me, I have such similar book taste in, so I feel like I had to get the second book. I've been called out so many times recently not having the second book immediately on me. I didn't get the third one just yet, but like I'm sure we'll work our way towards that. It's like realistically, I'm not gonna read all 3 of them super quickly, and the third one was quite big. But one of my big goals for 2026 is to start prioritizing series. So like instead of starting a series and then not reading the second book for like a few months, I want to read the series like all at once, especially when it's trilogies like this. I was really sad that they didn't have the Remnant Chronicles there because I really wanted to get the next 2 books in the Remnant Chronicles because I want to finish that, but thought what better way to start that by getting the first 2 books in the series. So hopefully I can just read these like back to back and we can be introduced to this whole new world, or you know, not necessarily back to back, but very close to each other. I just want to start like immersing myself in series again. We also talked about this on the podcast, but a big issue I've had this year is like picking books to read based on what reading vlogs I'm doing. And sometimes I'm like, okay, I've already read the first 2 books in the series. You guys don't want to see me read the second book when like the past 2 vlogs have been about this series. You guys don't want to see me read it again. I should read something different. I need to mix things up. And honestly, I doubt that's even true. Like I'm sure you guys like watching the series vlogs, but yeah, I just kind of want fresh content for you. I want to be finding out new books that you might not have heard of, giving you recs that you haven't heard of before. And by doing that, I feel like I have to branch out on my reading and be reading very different things all the time, not necessarily the same series. However, that does result in me having an crazy amount of series that I have started and not finished, which is something I want to work towards in 2026, like getting that list down. So all of that to say, I'm very excited to start this series. And that was all I got at the bookstore, but I feel like it was such a good haul. All of these I do want to read read very soon. Like, look at that stack. I did pick up a few romances and ended up putting them back because I just haven't been in the mood for romances recently. I've read a few and they just haven't been hitting. Fantasy has been hitting. For some reason, that is all that's been hitting at the moment, like high fantasy and political fantasies, or just action-packed kind of high-stakes fantasies. I love a subplot of romance, don't get me wrong, like love a subplot of romance, but I don't want romance to be like the main reason I'm reading a book. It just has gotten to a point where I read so many of like those kind of romances back to back to back that now I'm like, okay, I do see what's coming now, and I like to be taken by surprise. So yeah, I feel like that's why I've been drifting towards these kind of fantasies a little bit more. I'm excited though. I think it's a really, really good stack. That is definitely me set for a good while. I don't think I need to go book shopping for a long time, maybe until I need the third book in the Jade City or the Greenbone Saga. That is everything we got today. I hope you guys had fun coming along book shopping with me. Let me know if you like these styles where I actually like chat to you and through my thought process at the bookstore. It's scary filming in public, but I do love it. Like, it was absolutely fine. Massive shout out to Austin, my partner, for being my cameraman today, because I was like, okay, film from here and then film from here. In the end, I was like, I'm just gonna talk to you and you can hold the camera, and that's what worked best. So it was just like I was literally shopping with a friend, so it was great. But yeah, that brings us to the end of today's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you're having a wonderful December so far. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching to the end of this video if you have stayed until the end. As I said, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video.